could go for the Rek'Sai because you already have the Mordekaiser. I wouldn't mind an Elise here. You'd have a lot of magic damage.
It would definitely set you up.
I'm assuming it's a jungle pick, obviously, so they can get last pick.
Counter.
The last pick counter, especially because it's a flex from Mord.
How could we forget
we completely missed the Olaf!
Especially after VODS just talked about in the pregame. So focused on every other pick.
I'm so used to Olaf just being banned away from Inspire that I completely forgot that he was going to get one of his massive power picks. And speaking of power picks, the gauntlet has gone down. The very last pick on blue side, we get our Pantheon.
Yes, yes, and yes. So now we need to see how this composition is going to shape up for Rogue. With Vladimir locked in, you assume that's going to go top into the Ornn. I'm assuming Mickey's going to be playing that Taliyah in the mid lane, and it's globals here and long range engage.
It's Taliyah in the jungle. So this is being played right now a lot in the LPL. Again, it's about kind of diversifying your jungle. You got to be able to find what is going to work with your AD mid laner. So Taliyah Pantheon, the setup there is very clear in how obnoxious and how much kill pressure you can have. So that's why I think you see a Vladimir get locked in from Larssen. He's like, there's a giant target on my back right now. I'm dealing with a Pantheon and a Taliyah. A flick into Pantheon's damage is just certain death. So I'm going to take Vladimir, and I'm going to try to wait this one out. Like, I can survive. I can absorb the pressure here.
Oh, man, this is going to be so fun to watch. The execution, the burden of execution is going to be insane. Youngbuck and the XL squad. I've got a couple of champions that found themselves on the ban list extensively yesterday as Freddy wanted to gets a handshake there as the Rogue representatives leave the stage. It is almost time for Rogue to take on XL, and one of these teams will go undefeated at the end of week 1. Just a moment or two before we jump up onto the Rift. And Hansama will be taking on Patrik. And what's going to be a very fun matchup, Aphelios versus Senna.
Okay, I understand we're excited. We're about the Hansama and the Patrik, but I'm super excited about these supports. Thank you, LCK intro. No, I'm super excited about these supports. The guy standing next to Patrik and Hansama. I feel like we saw Torre pop off yesterday on the Braum. He now has another signature pick of his Nautilus. And then across from him, I think Vander is everything for this team. As soon as he was injected into the Rogue lineup, they just came alive and they rocketed up the standings. Their mid-game in particular, the decision-making about where they attack on the lane, and the fact that it's Vander who is always rotating there first, now on a pick like Tahm Kench, my eyes on these two players.
Now, isn't it going to be more difficult for him when you consider Taliyah, Pantheon, the long-range engage from Expect Ornn? It's going to be challenging, but as it stands right now, Rogue, they're going on a delayed invade. Patrik is moving forward. It was spotted out. XL are aware of this. They saw Rogue walking over vision. So far, it's a 3-for-3. We've already got ourselves a fight. Dredge line goes out and some damage thrown down from Hansama. Here comes Mickey. He's going to find himself a stun. Hansama's in trouble. The threaded volley not going to do enough just yet. And after what looked like a lot of trouble, nothing comes from it.
Yeah, so they do force Rogue back into their own jungle. The big expense there was the fact that Expect had to use his TP to get back up into the lane, make sure that he didn't lose too much time, too much experience, too much trade with Finn. But Finn already like, if I can abuse this guy, if I can force him back, I can really punish that he doesn't have a free reset back into this lane. So now there's a big target on Expect's back that he went down, he tried to help his team in level 1, he can be punished for it.
Okay, and of course, inspired on Olaf. We've seen him do it so many times. There was a period of games last year with 7 or 8 in a row. Olaf was in the ban pool against this man because of a single game performance. He is terrifying on this Olaf. And it's what Rogue will be looking to lean on to get them an early game start and an advantage here at the end of the weekend.
So one of the, I'm not going to say issues with Olaf in this competition is that obviously he doesn't bring much hard CC. He's basically got the slow if he hits his axe. And if you look at his laners, they don't have a lot of setup for him. You know, Mord either needs to get his pull back. Vladimir's not going to be doing much for Olaf. Just going to be waving at him as he goes by. And then it's a Senna and it's a Tahm Kench. So it's not like Inspired can try to really brute force around with this Olaf in terms of gank pressure. So it's really about how Inspired is going to control the pace in this jungle, make sure that he's getting information, getting a good read on Caedrel, on this Taliyah, and then trying to really neutralize and slow down Caedrel from impacting his laners versus like watching Inspired run into a lane. Now that said, he theoretically could. Yeah. It's just harder.
The thing that's going to be so much simpler for Caedrel though, when you combine him with any of these lanes, the ability to set up plays. There's CC in literally every lane. So as long as they coordinate correctly, the possibility or the ease of execution to secure some kills is definitely going to be favorable here for XLs. Caedrel's going to look to just shove this wave in, throws up the threaded volley. Not the most effective, but looking at the minimap, Inspired's up top. He was shadowing Finn's lane and nothing's going to come from it.
Yeah, and then it's Inspired knowing that Caedrel has moved into the bottom side of his jungle. So what is he going to do with the information? Is he just going to walk back in and start hard farming? Is he going to make any sort of assumed knowledge about where Caedrel's going to be, when he's going to take his back? And when Taliyah's not on the map, what does Olaf do while he is?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. Double buffs picked up here for Inspired.
He's going to gank the overextended bot lane.
I mean, he's got himself the flash, got himself the smite. The dredge line will land on one. Caedrel's left. Hansama's going to escape with his life for now. Toure as well as Patrik, they've still got their flashes. Toure's ignites will come up very, very soon.
I do want to point out this ward that Inspired is just standing right on top of. I think he's cleared it out with a control ward. And obviously, there we go. The importance of that ward and that brush is that when that blast cone is live, Olaf's actually exceptionally good at ganking bot lane, just because the angles that he can take with his axe to rock out and slam someone with the slow, and then to try to chase them down on a long lane. And when it's Aphelios versus Nautilus, if Toure and Patrik are pushed up, that's kind of the window that Inspired does have if he wants to make a successful gank there. So super important that he was able to catch out that ward to deny it, so he can hopefully get access to that blast cone and maybe make a gank work down there.
And what I really love about this is you have to be planning so many minutes ahead. Every action that happens in game has ripple effects as the next few minutes play out. Expect still does not have that teleport, but notice that both Patrik and Hansama are running the TPs. So Patrik will be able to jump around. Hansama's on cooldown. And this will definitely play out as the mid and late game follows out. So Mickey, considering a gank onto Finn, decides to back away. Finn was pushing forward pretty heavily into XL's territory, and now will be supported by Caedrel, who's spotted out by this wall.
And really nice missing pings, red ones from Rogue, so it looks like, from my observations, good communication about who went missing mid.
Oh, expect. We'll go into the realm of death to dodge the call of the Forge God, which is very nice, but Finn is just melting through his HP bar. One more auto will secure. Now Caedrel steps forward. You've stepped into trouble, mate. Not going to be able to
Power shot.
The teleport from Patrik. Aphelios jumps into the fray at level 4. We talked about it just a moment ago, and Patrik gets on the board.
You literally just called it, Trevor, and it's the fact that people are just focused on their lanes, looking for the 1v1s, the 2v2s, not keeping track of those summoner spells, and now you're sitting with an Aphelios with a very healthy lead.
Yeah, exceptionally well done. Good preparation. You know, on the XL side, they've got this comp that as long as some of those spells are available, they can react to any plays around the map. And look at the minimap, by the way. Patrik was pushed all the way up into that Senna and TK.
Yep, had the space to do so. So as we take another look at this one, like you said, using the Mordekaiser ultimate to dodge the knockup from the Forge God, and then just trying to walk down this Ornn while Inspired is kind of standing on the outskirts like, I'm ready, whatever pops out of here, I've got your back.
Okay, so a little bit of mist thrown down in the mid lane. Mickey will throw out the flash. That Aegis Assault did a lot of damage onto Hansama, but Mickey escapes, flash blown. And that is a potential re-engage. Vander making the first move there to leave the lane as he had some time.
One of the nice things about having an Olaf in the jungle, especially if you aren't getting the successful ganks that you want, although Inspired is sitting to a kill to his name, is how quickly he can burn through those Drakes.
Yep.
We've talked at length about early Drakes, but again, free objective is a free objective, and Olaf doesn't lose a lot of time for doing it.
You see the flash for flash again. Caedrel shows up in the top lane. And that's what we're talking about, the synergy when you have so much CC. I think it gives Excel quite a lot of flexibility. If they want to try play a flex game, they can. Oh, the tongue lash fell short.
It also makes it much safer for Ornn in that lane if Mordekaiser doesn't have the flash, because then, again, all you have to do is be able to dodge the scoop, the Mord scoop, and then Ornn can kind of like zip away from it and walk out. Whereas if the Mordekaiser has the flash, as long as he's within melee range, he can just start beating onto you. So it's really going to help at expect there.
Yeah, absolutely. All the Forge Guard will be up again, and a flashless Finn could definitely be another easy target. As Toure, he's also left his lane. Patrik is solo down bottom, no TP. Rift Herald will be secured here, uncontested. And Inspired 1-1 at the 9-minute mark. We've seen him show up and put some pressure in lanes, but he hasn't run away with this early game, which is a good sign for Excel.
But this is now 2 times or 2 games back-to-back where we've seen around an 8-minute Rift Herald swap where you unlock the support and they make the first rotation. So again, as we start to develop the 2020 meta, keep your eyes on that 8-minute window when those backs come in and when the supports are moving with their jungle to kind of trade across from first Drake. And it's exceptionally easy because Patrik was sitting on green and white on the Aphelios itemization, so he was super safe to farm from a distance and not feel pressured without access to his Nautilus.
Yeah, exactly. Using the full kit to his advantage. And also the fact that TK, not yet really wanting to tower dive, not without like Inspired behind him or etc. But look, it's a pretty close game. Still, you know, even gold as far as it's concerned. While XL got themselves the Herald, it is sitting in Caedrel's inventory. Rogue did pick up the Mountain Drake with Infernal secured. I made a joke in draft about Cloud Rift being a thing, and it is a 50% chance of happening. So I want to see what it does. And if you're a Rogue fan, you kind of want them to look towards the Soul. You want to be able to dodge a lot of everything that XL's going to throw at you. I mean, that's true for every like champion in the game. I get it, right? But it will help a lot more right now.
Hold on, Trevor. You might get a fight.
I hope so. Undertow, undertow. A lot of damage coming down from Inspired. He's going to pick up Toure. Larssen actually secures a kill. Weaver's Will comes up from Caedrel. Teleport comes in from Expect. Call of the Forge Guard comes down. There's no Realm of Death this time round. Volcanic Rupture knocks up Inspired. And it ends up being a 1-for-1. And XL committed the TP.
Yeah, having Expect get there, of course the trap was trying to be set up. Larssen.
Ooh, a little bit of trouble. Seismic Shove and the threaded volley's going out. The shove is what forced out the Sanguine pool, but look, with the Rift Herald thrown down, there is a tower available. Finn is pushing the top lane.
Yep, Larssen now just kind of trying to hang around, see how far they're going to push through this one, but a lot of that plate gold going into the pocket of Excel, while they are trading, like you said, for Finn up in the top side.
What I really like about the audience today in Berlin is that both crowds, or both teams have loud fans from the crowd. What was the Fa La 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 song as XL find themselves another fight, but look at damage coming down. Curse of the Black Mist is fired from Hans Sommer. It's a trade of 1-for-1. Jungler, correction, mid lane for support. Now lane Spike goes down again. He just died. He just joins the fight, and he dies yet again.
But Finn has been up here the entire time, and yeah, he's not taking that tower very quickly, but you are starting to open up a pretty sizable CS discrepancy between these top laners, as well as a level difference. Finn now level 9 to Expect's level 8, and I'll say because it's an Ornn, it's not like the worst thing in the world for Excel, just because Ornn's going to give your team so much free gold in terms of stats from leveling up items, as well as the utility that he offers in his kit. But Finn, as we saw last game, could start to get out of control in this Mordekaiser on a side lane.
Yeah, definitely the case. I'm trying to understand, did Vander and Hans Sommer, was it just a little bit of an overstep? They were stepping like 2 into 3, 3 into 4 at the best case scenario.
I mean, they were certainly going for the flank because Inspired was walking down the mid lane. I think it was just slightly mistimed, and then a really good pickup from Excel to realize that Rogue were out of position and they could find some easy kills.
Well, Mickey on this Pantheon is doing fairly well so far. 2-1-1. Got the Ghost Blade secured. He's down 15 CS, but as several skirmishes has played out around his lane and in his lane, he's been present, involved in 3 of his team's 5 kills. His opposite number, on the other hand, had a phenomenal game yesterday. Larssen managed to pick up 65% kill participation, 30% damage share for his team, and 3 solo kills.
It's sometimes hard to recognize how good Larssen is just because of the things that he's really talented at aren't super flashy. Like, we've seen him do the solo kills and flex, and we know that he can do that, but it's Larssen's ability to read the map, recognize where he's in danger, and again, absorb and waste other teams' times that I think is what really is kind of separating him from the pack for me in terms of talented mid laners in LEC.
Well, he's got a champion that can do that. Wasting team times, playing out team fights. There's a lot of outplay potential.
Here we go.
On the Vladimir. Finn's going to need some outplay potential. Realm of Death is available. Seismic Shove goes nowhere. I'm not quite sure what they expected to happen, but it was not that.
We got another one. I told you, rule 2, no punts.
One a day. Come on, give me one a day. I haven't had one yet.
My favorite thing is they were bringing up Torre and then expects like, or excuse me, Finn's like, he got nothing, he just leaves.
Yeah, definitely the case. But look, it is a cross map because Rogue are pushing the bottom lane. We didn't mention it, but they did pick up the Infernal Drake. And I don't think we've had the animation just yet, but it is the Cloud Rift, ladies and gentlemen. As here comes Larssen, we just spoke about him. Chemoplague will not pick up Patrik, and he's able to escape with his life. I still don't think there was enough damage there, but nevertheless, that is the engage from Larssen and a lot of turret damage in the bottom lane.
You need to be careful though. Excel, do you have numbers advantage? They're either going to play mid or play top, and I think because Finn stepped too far forward, it's going to be the top lane play.
Oh, this is not a good position to be in. There's more members coming to the fray. Expect Scott support. Call the Forge God is available. Oh, Finn knows. Baited.
Come at me.
I dare you to come at me is what he was screaming. Now Larssen is the next one that's in trouble. Will take some damage. The Grand Starfall comes out.
Here comes the rest.
I'm waiting for the shield vault. That's a flash. Uh-oh. Teleport is starting. Teleport is starting. It's going to complete. Finn will buy some time with the Realm of Death, but just how much? Here comes Vander, inspired, and Larssen. Finn stays alive. The Obliterate dunks down Toure, and Finn walks away. It could only have been better with a swag dance.
Between a rock and a hard place with that TP, Finn just has total confidence, teleports in, immediately hits the Mordekaiser ultimate, is like, welcome to the Thunderdome, and then just dunks on him. Now, meanwhile, Expect will get this tower, or maybe just feed in this minion wave. I think he's going to get it. Thinking about it.
Just linger, come on. There we go. Not going to deny too many CS, but a tower for the kill. It's blow for blow, 15 minutes, game's dead even.
Still dealing with a Mordekaiser that is starting to get out of control here, as we're going to get the replay. And I say stuck between a rock and a hard place because, look, you have Rogue coming up from the bottom, and then you have Finn coming in from behind. And again, the swag confidence of being a Mordekaiser as, oh no. Oh no!
Wow, that's a little oopsie. But nevertheless, Vander arrives in the nick of time with Inspired and helps out, saving Finn.
That's a Torre paid for your sins up in the top lane.
He really, really did. All right, so 2 dragons in the advantage of Rogue. A couple clouds still coming their way before we start talking about the soul. In terms of itemization, 1.5 picked up across the board. Essence Reaver was the first pickup for Patrik. He's, of course, stacking Hans Sommer's Manamune right now. He's got himself that serrated Dirk. And these fights are very fun to watch. But as the game continues to play out, you know, how do you like different teams' chances? You've already spoken extensively about the Mord. We talked about the Senna and picks and bans. And there's a Vlad that we've barely mentioned right now. Is scaling on the side of Rogue?
I mean, I would say yes, but I don't know what Aphelios at like full capacity really means for a team yet. I think again, Karzi's kind of one of the best Aphelioses that we've seen so far in the LEC. I'm not saying exactly what I need from that champion, so maybe Patrik just starts flexing on kids with it. But yeah, I would say it's easier for a Rogue late game because they have a Senna, they have a Vladimir.
All right, Seismic Shove this time around lands. Good damage there from Caedrel. The next question I'm going to ask is ease of execution. We're entering this mid-game phase with 3 towers down, starting to move around the map. Do you think it's fair to say the XL squad will be a little easier to play out? Follow, Forge Guard, throw ultimates, hope, kill.
I mean, they've got a lot more CC to play around with, and when you're locking up an opponent, this is what we were talking about earlier, that Mordekaiser is a big problem.
Yep, it definitely looks like Expect's in trouble. Flash for flash. Finn will be happy with that. Leandri's Torment is just burning away.
Oh, Taliyah, hold up.
All right, let's see what happens. Weaver's Wall will cut off Hansama. He's got flash available. Vander with the Devour. Now he gets caught by the Dredge line and pushed backwards. Manages to land the Tongue Lash as well. Teleport comes in. Grand Starfall. Throw ultimates. Hope kill. No kill. The strategy did not work for Excel. Rogue are in retreat, but they want to return. Finn is already thrown down the Realm of Death. He's forced away Expect. And now Finn is the one in trouble. But I mentioned it a moment ago. Cast ultimates, hope for kill. That's the strategy. It didn't work this time.
Yeah, weren't able to chain a lot of the CC that was necessary. So good disengage from Rogue here. Credit to Vander, especially on that disengage, using his flash, the Devour, and making sure that everyone got to safety. But that's now a lot of key summoners down in terms of the flashes, particularly Vander's on that Tahm Kench.
Oh man, so once these ultimates come up again, the globals going to be a very juicy target. And it's a really fun, when you have these like team fight style comps, the fights just drag out for ages.
But there's still so much flexibility that these teams don't just have to narrow themselves into a straight 5v5. You can already see that Rogue are starting to play into these side lanes because they do have a Vladimir, they do have a Mordekaiser, and they are starting to get the better of their opponents. Now, you do need to be mindful of the mobility that you talked about earlier on Excel's composition with Taliyah, with the Pantheon, that if you are playing one of those side lanes with a Mord or a Vladimir, that a party can start very quickly for Excel. If they don't have access to TPs, it doesn't matter because they'll just zip on down there with ults.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a concern. And while we've got a brief lull in the action, what do you think about Rogue's playstyle? What do you think about how Rogue, you know, they played their game out yesterday? We were very happy about how they handled themselves, and Larssen is in some trouble here. He's going to look for the Comet Spear, not going to find the kill just yet. Hemoplague, correction, Protobelt managed to save him along with the Transfusion. And now all of a sudden Excel are coming in. Call of the Forge God goes down. Dredge line will not be able to stop Inspired. And there's the ultimates don't land. The Rift Herald will allow a tower play. Excel managed to take their 4th tower of the game. While that's going on, Finn's down bottom.
Yeah, and we were just talking about Rogue's playstyle, but Excel are beating Rogue a lot to the punch here around map. Excellent use of this Rift Herald to take a top in hit. This is a well worthwhile trade.
Yeah, how on earth do Rogue want to start a fight here? They need an Olaf to run in. They need an Abyssal Voyage from Vander. Inspired's trying to fling a couple of undertows from the side, but it is one thing we've not necessarily addressed just yet, is if Rogue wanted to start a fight, it's pretty obvious to read where they're coming from. Straight on or a flank?
Yeah, they're very dependent on those flanks, which means that they're really dependent on their vision game, making that vision denial and allowing either a flank through Vander's ultimate or Larssen to kind of slip out onto the side and make sure that a Vladimir gets involved in the middle of the team. But again, Excel have so many pieces of CC throughout their entire composition. It is going to be much easier for them to decide when to fight and kind of play out the fights. 2 games in a row, 2 days in a row. Excel and Rogue were the 2 exciting surprises of summer. And I'm really happy to see both of them playing the way they're playing. We've got a lot to break down and talk about, but it's a great start to the opening weekend. And I think this is going to add to some expectations for both of these squads. It's Excel that are empowered, emblazoned. They've got their ultimates available. There's 2 minutes to the next dragon, so they're just pushing some vision in, pushing the wave down bottom. They've got supers up top, so the map is Excel's favor. Yeah, it's the fact that they don't need to play the top side at all because those supers are there, that they're just playing for the easy structures and fishing out with any pieces of their CC to see what they catch. Nice Taliyah wall, locks them off the tower. Mickey's prepared this one from later.
Oh, this is a little bit brave. That was very, very brave. Vander, that was not so good, I'm afraid. Ends up giving away 2 quick kills. Patrik gets chunked down. Not going to be taken out, just surviving. As I really thought that ultimate was going to take him out. So it's 2 members down from Rogue. Hemoplay comes out. Larssen trying to do what he can. He'll clear out the wave. But Vander, the Abyssal Voyage, not enough support quickly enough and just gets picked off.
I'm going to call it in a big oopsie there on trying to make that call. Wants to get around the wall, probably just didn't think that he was going to go straight into a Taliyah's waiting hands. I think she flicked him off the tower into multiple pieces of CC. Yep.
Even I could land that seismic shove once you know exactly where the Abyssal Voyage is landing.
But you can see how much damage on the back half that Larssen does when he hits them. But again, it's if this was a best of 3, we said that it's kind of a Fnatic versus Origin yesterday. I don't think Rogue would run this exact composition back again. I think that there are pretty clear adjustments or pretty clear holes that they're missing to make this a little bit easier for them.
Now, that was one of the first team fights we've seen Patrik get a little bit more involved in. And just a reminder of his performance yesterday. 90% kill participation.
Look at that damage per minute.
944. There are 5 players on the team, and he had 40% of the damage shared, which is ridiculous. And it was a fantastic performance, especially coming up against Forgiven against Schalke. Now, on his Aphelios 103. Still working towards that second item. He still hasn't even been fully activated. And there's a lot of room to grow, but the rest of the team, they're using their engage tools. They're playing around the objectives, and they've got 6 towers to 2.
Is it a Aphelios or is it a Aphelios?
Oh, you're asking a South African. I don't know how to speak English properly.
Is he a fella or a feeler?
A fella? I'm going to opt out of answering that question later on PGL tonight. Tune in to G2 Mickey as how he will carry caps. How he also carried perks, by the way. He just carries the team. We all know that. With a broken wrist, that's how he does it. But is it Aphelios? Is it a soft F?
I think it's a fella. Aphelios.
All right, he's a fella. All right, I'm down with this.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't tweet this at me, because I don't need that spam. Weaver's Wall used to block off the tower. XL are in complete control, Froskurinn.
Yeah, we've seen this combo a lot. Oh, deep TP. Okay, we said that Rogue would need a flank. This is their flank, the Hail Mary.
It is indeed. Here comes Finn. He's got the Realm of Death. Senna throws down the ultimate. Finn will lock in Toure. Now, all of a sudden, Call of the Forge God comes out. If the ults don't kill, the strat doesn't work. Toure's down. It's a 5v4 as Rogue are pushing forward. Larssen will not be able to find the next tag, but it is 5v4 and they've got a Baron available.
And that's why it was the Hail Mary from Rogue. They had to force this to work, because otherwise XL are going to choke them out of the map.
Oh no, look at the re-engage! XL was so confident. Rogue were on Baron. They were baited and outsmarted.
And suddenly now Rogue have really turned the tables back for them here. XL were making very clean plays around the map, utilizing that Taliyah wall, taking away all of these structures, and Rogue are like, I've got the TP, I'm going in deep, and we have to make it work, and it does.
It's punches and counter punches, blow for blow. Look at the mini-map. Super minions are on the inhibitor in the top lane. XL are now trying to interrupt the Baron play. All of a sudden, Patrik stepping forward. He needs to be huge this fight. The Baron is still alive. Mickey's taking down Vander. This has gone wrong for Rogue. The Baron is secured by Rogue. On the back of the fight. Now Larssen manages to transfuse and stay alive. Mickey runs away. I thought XL could have done more, but it didn't work out, and the Baron goes the way of Rogue.
And everything has now come up heads for Rogue. Now, that said, while that did happen, that inhib, that top one, was alive. It has now been killed by the minions again. So there was almost that silver lining of like, not only did we get the Baron, but our base is perfectly respawned and safe. So we take another look at the play that started it all. A deep teleport from Finn. He's going to flash into the middle. He immediately ults Toure here, so he's not put into any real danger, and then just completely removes this Nautilus from the fight.
Really nicely done. It's the follow-up that I was quite impressed with. Rogue kind of baits the peel away for Baron, and as Caedrel expects step forward, they don't know, they haven't moved.
Yeah, and our observers, wonderful job showing the vision from XL that they just had no idea. They had to make an assumption off of imperfect information because Rogue had a great vision game to give them those flanks. Expertly placed control wards to allow that to happen.
And then you also have to make assumptions on what skill shots to dodge, because Senna's on the other team and obscuring the re-engage. So such a difficult position to be in. But admittedly, the game state is in that really awkward place. One team has Baron, the other team has super minions pouring down the map, and they've got a ton of engaging globals to play with, so we are far from done.
It gives a lot of emphasis and power back to Finn to just be that super obnoxious Mordekaiser in a side lane, which puts pressure on XL to make this work.
Oh, that's double value from Call of the Forge God. Vander gets caught out, seismic shove comes back, but Vander stays alive for so long!
Still alive!
It's actually
He's still alive!
down! Vander is so good, and so is the support from Rogue. Now they've managed to take out Expect. Finn's coming in late to the party, but Patrik does get shut down. He got one in return. Finn will look to kill Mickey. He can't get in range. The Obliterate goes wide. Finally, he does it. Rogue get the ace, and they take the tower as well.
And that was a 4v5. Finn only showed up at the very end. He walks in, he's like, it's all me, guys. Takes the last kill, and then suddenly the game flips on its head. They've got the Baron. They're knocking on the mid door. It's like, hello, you thought you had this game? Rogue swing it right back.
This is fantastic and so exciting. Both teams are now on
Patrik's face.
Pushing. Patrik very disappointed. He's finished the Hurricane. Still got those double crit cloaks, and the inhibitor in the mid lane will go down. It's a 4,500 gold lead, but the Baron power play is over 6,000.
Okay, let's take a look at really what happened here. Again, Excel, they see Mordekaiser up there. They're like, we have to start the fight, and they invest so much into trying to kill Vander. I'm watching Patrik, sorry, just to see what happened to him.
Yeah, well, of course, while Vander survived, got so many heals and shields. Patrik zoned away, pushed out.
Good job on Larssen. Oh my god, that damage from Senna and Larssen was disgusting.
Senna greater than Aphelios.
I told you, Senna is broken.
You said that in Picks and Bans, and I am here to confirm it. Rogue will now get uncontested access to the Dragon. Expect will be a little bit late to the party, but look at the minimap. Supers are now pushing once again onto the inhib. Caedrel accidentally locks off the minions. Now we've got ourselves another fight. Vander goes for the Devour and is trying to escape. Vander will survive a few seconds longer. Does not have flash. Got the blast cone. Will not be able to use it to escape. Vander finally goes down. 0-4-9. Hans Summer 5-0-5 thanks to the phenomenal play of Vander. But Hans Summer lost his flash in that previous engage.
Yeah, and Rogue are still playing around the fact that there are super creeps pushing into their top side. It was just set up by Caedrel there, so thank you, observers, for pointing that one out. And I think you used the word punches, kind of blow for blow, yes. And that is really what we're looking at with this game. It's the fact that we come out of a replay, Excel have found a pick, we come back out of another replay, Rogue have a super deep teleport flank, which, speaking of, Finn will have that cooldown available to him relatively soon, so we'll see if Rogue try to throw a similar maneuver, a similar punch.
We are at 29 minutes in game, 23 kills secured. The goal difference of 2k is relatively insignificant. Both teams have exposed inhibitors, one of them down on both sides, and it's just, it's impossible to read the state of the game because the control has swung back and forth with every single engage. The only thing that is certain, a minute to Baron, both teams are definitely going to want to fight over that, and then 3.5 to the next Cloud Drain.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like you have a minute and 12, we're going to say probably 30 seconds before people start moving into position and controlling these areas to farm, to make your back, to get your last items, and then we should see the Colosseum being drawn.
Yes, yes, yes. And of course, the inhibitor will be respawning.
Oh, the cherry on top for Rogue.
There we go. So a little bit of extra timing, especially with a minute to go. So if Rogue can usher the super minion down mid lane, then peel north to the Baron pits, can play out in their favor, but you have to expect or anticipate that XL are aware of that. Mickey shoving this wave in. He's got that Grand Starfall available.
What's really important is actually just the completed items for Aphelios.
Yeah, I go with Aphelios.
For Patrik right now, he was sitting on double crit cloak into Essence Reaver. He's now completed his Infinity Edge and then also had it upgraded by Ornn. So again, my eyes are going to be on Patrik to see how much damage he can output in these fights, because he basically got 1-2 punch by Larssen Senna that last team fight and exploded.
Yeah, it feels like you can feel and see the impact of Hans Summer. And even more so when he uses the kit. There's the vision from Exile. That is actually terrifying, just for what it's worth. And now the engage. The Ornn Horn has been called. That's a knockup for Ansama. He's not in trouble just yet. There goes Larssen! The Hemo Plate Transfusion combination deletes Patrik right where he stands. It's time to go Rogue, and they are pushing down the mid lane. Another kill onto Caedrel means they don't even need Baron. That was an XL engage. That was punished.
What are you supposed to do if you're Patrik like that? Larssen just, no one even touched him. He flies in the back line and just rips Aphelios apart.
Unbelievable. Expect will just about get blown up. Hansama is dominating 6-0 and 7. Toure to follow. The Nexus turret falls. The second thereafter. And Rogue open the LEC week 1 going 2-0. Undefeated.
Finn with the hourglass swagger at the very end right there. And a very well-deserved win from Rogue. Kept their cool. You know, this wasn't a roster that looked like they were put on the back foot and they just didn't figure out how to navigate themselves back in the game. They knew exactly where they had to hit. They knew it was going to be a high-pressure situation where they'd have to find a TP flank, and then they executed on it.
The thing that I like, though, is I kind of like the boxing analogy for this game, because it really did feel like both teams were able to land uppercuts and haymakers on one another. And both teams were in control at different points in the game. If you were to do a VOD review and stop at 15 minutes and make an assumption of who would win, you couldn't possibly be like completely wrong because of how much the control shifted.
You were going in really strong for that analogy, and then you really backed it up on that one.
I just stopped to go, were Rogue in the lead at 15? Because if so, this analogy sucks.
I think it was the fact that they were able to draft a composition, that they were missing some pretty crucial pieces of CC, but they had a high enough level of skill expression to execute on it. So hats off to them, especially Finn up into that top lane. Excellent game, good sir.
Absolutely the case. We're getting some high fives from the players on the cast today. It's the Kia player of the game suggestions at LEC on Twitter. Finn, Larssen, or Hansama. Tell us who you think